Y'all, let me reintroduce you to Alisihia P. Ford, LICSW, who passed her clinical exam in May, making her the 14th of 15 clinical social workers from the Goddess of Social Work Supervision community this year alone. 15 of y'all have passed the clinical exam from 2025 to 2026. And in the community as a total, we have about 25 or 26 of you guys. And so I'm going to say that every chance I get. So I didn't say her bio, but I'm just so proud to be able to say that she is part of our amazing community and that she is the 14th out of 15 clinical social workers to pass their clinical exam in 2025-2026 season. And so she's going to share her story with us and share, like she said, some helpful tips and tricks. And I'm going to hand the mic over to Alisihia. Yay, Alisihia.
Thank you, Renita. Hello, everyone. Like Miss Renita said, I'm Alisihia Ford, LICSW, baby. But first thing I want to say, you guys, is Renita's honestly like family to me. And so entering into supervision, I somewhat thought it was gonna be easy because I knew her. But honestly, I would come some days just rambling and she would correct me, and honestly it helped me. So every time I would come to supervision, you guys, I would come prepared. Pen, paper, asking questions, trying to get what I can out of the session. And honestly, it starts from there, you guys. But moving along, when I first passed my test, I entered into the correction department. So I am a licensed clinical social worker for Tutwiler Prison for Women. Um, and after I finished supervision October of last year, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, what's next? Should I start studying? Should I try to get another job because my job has been hell on wheels? So I'm like, what's next for me? I put off taking my test because it was no good time for me. I'm like, I finished in October, Thanksgiving, Christmas, my birthday's in January, Valentine's Day. It was so much going on. The first thing I had to do, you guys, was to grind myself. And I had to practice the boldest no's for me. Um, Ignoring distractions, dysfunctions, and opportunities. Let me explain. So with the distractions, I told Renita, once I passed a little bit what was going on, um, a month or two ago, my brother was killed by the Dothan police. He was shot like 19 times, and he was killed by the police. My father was going through dementia, calling me from the hospital in the middle of the night, like, you need to come get him. At work, I have been bullied. I have been harassed. Where I had to write statements on people. I have been told you need to be the bigger person. And trying to move throughout with all this thinking, I have a test going on. So I had to practice the boldest no's for me, putting self to the side. So I had all this going on, but I had to really, really focus. I had to take this test. Um, I can't grieve right now. I don't know if you guys could do it. I had to put that to the side. People coming, literally 4 people surrounding me around a time clock, threatening me, moving myself to the side, saying, "Hey, let me write a statement. Let DOC, my supervisors handle this." Um, Here we go with the opportunities. I don't know if I told you, Renita. Miss Allison stepped down. She eventually stepped down. So, for you who may not know, I think Leandra may know. I applied for the supervisor position once one of my supervisors left. They told me I wouldn't be ideal because I knew everybody. I probably couldn't write people up. So, boom, Miss Allison finally steps down. So I wanted to apply again, but I had to think: do I want to excel where I am, or do I want to receive another license where more opportunities can be presented to me? So at that time, I wrote them back and said I wanted to recant my opportunities to interview. And so everybody was like, "What?" And I'm like, I don't want it right now. I want this license. So I eventually started studying. I had to pick a date where I want to take the test and study. I call Renita because you guys, once you finish supervision, she will send a clinical supervision verification form. I was so happy to complete my hours. I didn't look at the information. I did not look until I paid my application fee and had to send them that form. Renita and I went back and forth with the people because I didn't know. I didn't review my information. That was on me. Once she send you guys your verification form, review it. Review it. So we had to get that cleared up, but it was an easy fix. It was supposed to say 96 hours. Mine said 48. So they told me I was not eligible to take my test. And I was going crazy. I'm like, no, I did it. What's wrong? And I had to remember, calm down, Alicia. You have Renita's information. We'll get it fixed. So that's the first thing. You have to apply your $75 application fee. You have to send the boards your clinical supervision verification form that reflects you have 96 hours. The actual test is $260. What I did was I did purchase the $85 practice test. That's very important, y'all. It's very, very important. And you can only access that 30 days prior to your test. But I would go back every day. I studied for at least an hour a day. With the practice test. I use the practice test. I use Pocket Prep. I use RayTube. And I use ChatGPT, y'all. You would think that does not work. That helped me so much. How I use ChatGPT, I asked Chat to develop 50 clinical exam questions with the answer key at the end. And I would ask them to break down the questions. And that helped me so much because that helped me with the practice exam. I printed out, I'm such a scholar and I study. I printed out the code of ethics and all the ethical responsibilities because on the test, I'm a visual learner too. My test, I can remember everything I took, but each test is different. So I had a lot of questions asking about self-determination, about your responsibility for your colleagues. If you seen a colleague do this, what should you do first? Should you go to the person? Should you go to the supervisor? Things that we should know to do. Even informed consent when it comes to adolescents and their parents. And if a 14-year-old was pregnant and she needed resources and the parents want to know what went on in the session. Questions like that. Informed consent. Could you provide the information to the parents? I also use Dunn Apgar's this book, the clinical exam book by Dunn Apgar. It's the 3rd edition. It has an actual 170 questions in the back of the book. I studied an hour a day, you guys. An hour a day. I started. Did somebody say something?
I'm so sorry. I'm
Keep going, Alicia.
Oh, okay. I studied an hour a day. I took my test April 18th. I started studying mid-February. So I know that's a lot of, like, how long did you take to study? How often? And I gave myself grace, you guys. The first time Renita tell you, I isolated myself. I didn't want to be around anybody. I didn't go to parties. I didn't do this. I said this time I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm still gonna live my life because this is how I thought. And it may be wrong, you guys. I went in thinking I already have a license. If I fail this time, I know how to practice the next time. I actually put my everything into it. So when I came out, it would be like it wasn't me. So I couldn't hold myself to a place of guilt or shame, like, oh, you could have did this. I couldn't did anything different but what I did. So I want to tell you guys about some more of the questions too. Yeah, about competency reporting, safety. It was a lot of safety questions, you guys. A lot of safety crisis about suicide. And honestly, I feel like my job prepared me for this test too. Even though I cannot stand this job. I did have medication questions. I did have diagnosis questions. I think I had a harder test. I really did. I had like 3 questions about bipolar versus bipolar 1 versus bipolar 2. So knowing that, with bipolar 1, it's more severe, may hospitalization, though that 1 week of a manic mode. So what is mania? So knowing that. I had a question about schizophrenia, schizophreniform, and schizoaffective. Knowing the difference between them. Ray too helped with that a lot. He talked about the disorders. He talked about medication. I had a question about if you had a patient in the hospital and they were manic, hallucinating, and you believe they were diagnosed with schizophrenia, what type of medicine would you provide them? Haldol. Because I work with providers, psychiatrists, and they prescribe Haldol. So it was like I had to I knew the information, but to dissect the question to see what is the best answer. I had a lot of 3 questions already too. I had a couple 4, but I had a lot of three answer choices. And for me, I feel like that helped because I didn't have that many choices. I know some people probably feel like I like the 4, but for me, I like the 3 answer choices. Code of ethics, distractions, when I started, verification. I passed my test, you guys. I had the passing score was a 103. I scored a 103. I told Renita I had to practice some grounding techniques while I was in the test because I went in the first time, you guys. I took so let's go back. My BSW, I took it 3 times and I could not pass that test for anything in the world. So I said, I'm going to take my master's. I'm going for my master's degree. And I feel like it was when I went to Troy, I feel like at this point, I'm paying for this. I'm not taking out student loans. I came differently, a different approach to my education. And so when I took that test, I passed on the first time. But I was so nervous. I urinated on myself there. I was so nervous until again, Renita and I talked about, hey, some ashwagandha gummies and all kind of stuff, some natural to calm yourself down because I feel like a lot of it is our anxiety, y'all. So this time I came prepared. I was well rested. I didn't do what people said, drove, to a different city. I went right to Pearson's. Now we switched back over to Pearson's. I actually helped a couple of people because they didn't know where they were going. So I'm like, hey, we going up to the 6th floor, wherever, like we going, don't bring a jacket or anything like that. Different people testing in the same site so they can have different things than we can have. I took my shoes off. I put my bare feet on that floor. I said upright. And I'm like, you got this. You got this. And another weird thing happened to me. I told Renita, I don't know. I don't want to sound too religious, y'all. But I was telling her that my mouse, when I want to choose an answer, the mouse went to another answer. Some people, and I told her I was going to raise my hand, y'all, to tell the lady something was wrong with my computer. It happened almost 8 questions. I kid you not. It went to a different answer. And I went where the mouse went. And remember, Renita, I was telling you that, and you was like, I'm happy you didn't say nothing. I was going to tell them something is wrong with my computer. But I've been praying and praying and praying like, God, you help me. You help me. Help me with this, please. I don't know. I don't know it because a lot of times we go with what sounds right, you know? And I'm like, well, this sound right. And it was like the mouse, and it wasn't even slow. It wasn't slow, y'all. It was like, no. So I just went where the mouse went. What else? I mean, just planning it out for me. Like I said, a lot of hard no's. My family wanted me to go a lot of places. I did, but even the night before, my mom, she loves to party and play cards, and she wanted to go somewhere the day before. And I said, I'm not doing it. I usually feel bad because I'm the life of the party. I'm just being honest. So if I don't go places, everybody's sad, and I'm like, no. And I didn't even tell her why. So nobody knew I was taking this test but my hater boss, not the one on my other hater boss. I'm just being real. She the only person knew. And I know they say don't tell people when you taking your test. And I actually told her. And she was like, this is the thing. I asked her to help me. Give me some tips because she's a clinical social worker as well. Help me. And she said, therapy talks, something like that. She had an access code to it. Even if you pass the test, it's still open once you pay the $199. And so I was asking her for her resource, and she kept saying, I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to send it to you. She never sent it to me. I asked her for supervision in the office to come because we supposed to meet weekly. So I would go in there. We would never talk about the test. And she even told me one time, I don't know why you trying to take this test because your pay won't be any different because you don't need it for the job. And I said, but don't you have yours? Don't try to deter me from wanting to better myself. So at that point, I just, I told her just to tell her. And she even asked me the day before I took the test, talk about she was praying for me and stuff. I didn't respond because I don't need your prayers. But when I passed, I sent her the picture of me passing, and she didn't say that back. So it's just like, honestly, it's up to you if you want to tell somebody. If you don't, because I do believe in spirits, and I had to pray the devil away. I really did. No. And I feel like God was telling me, you don't need her resources because it's no right way to study for this test, y'all. What I gave y'all probably was too much, but honestly, I used it. At a stoplight, I'm with my pocket prep. Not supposed to be texting and driving, but I'm looking at questions. Dropping my son off carpool line. He goes to Floyd. He can't get out the car to 7:50. I'm there by 7 o'clock. So I use 50 minutes to look at pocket prep. So just being intentional about my time. Like, where can I get this studying? I can't have this book with me and, doing all that. So I had access to my phone. Chat GPT a quick 10 questions. Create me 10 questions. Listening to RayTube while I was driving. When I'm getting up, putting on my makeup. Listening to RayTube. He really helps. And he has sessions for $5. I never joined the sessions. I looked at the pre-recordings. And it really helped me. Yes, it really works, y'all. Some of the questions that ChatGPT developed for me were the questions on the test. Were the exact questions on the test. And you can ask them too to give you scenarios. Not just the term questions or whatnot, definitions. You can ask them to develop scenarios. And that helps a lot. It really does. And I want to say this too. What was my so I would say ChatGPT create me a LICSW study guide questions, 50 questions with the answer key at the end. That's exactly what I put in. Create me a practice test, a LISW practice test with the answer key at the end. That's why I would ask Chat. And I would use, and you do need a study partner, y'all. And let me tell you, I want to touch on it. My study partner was my husband and my baby. My husband do not like to read. Do you hear me? But he helped my baby with his reading. I helped him with his reading. I'm just being transparent here. And so, instead of us watching TV, I would cut the TV off and I would tell them to read me these questions off the practice test when it got closer. Because I already took the test. And let me tell you, my LMSW and my LICSW practice test, I failed both of them. But I passed both of my tests on the first try. But I failed the practices. And so I didn't let that, get me down. I'm like, hey, I'm her. My tag on my car say I'm her, baby. So I got this. You know what I'm saying? It did give you the rationale. Yes, it did. So when I asked ChatGPT to do to generate the answer key, it gave me why. It gave me why the answer choice was the answer choice. It did. But yeah. And with my baby, once I passed, I feel like, I took my whole family out, because it was a win for us all, because it was dedication from me. It was dedication from them, understanding, hey, mommy still spending time with both of y'all, but it's for my betterment, but for us all too. Now my husband want to pick up a book and read. Like, my baby enjoyed reading. He started reading lyrics to Camp Tomorrow again. It just helped us all. Yes, I'm like, won't he do it? Won't he do it? And it's just right now, I'm in a place because they say, what now? Your license. Now I'm looking for opportunities, but I believe in God, so I'm staying still. Pastor Mike, I listen to him when I don't go to church, and I didn't go today, but I listen to him. And he said a lot of things don't move for us because we try to move it. I feel like right now I'm where God wants me to be. Just because I feel like right now it's so humbling where I am, because honestly, with the job, I know it all. I even have to train my supervisors. But I feel like God is training me for leadership. And once you learn how to follow, you'll be a great leader. And I do it and I want to help. It's to me with my heart, it don't feel like I'm forced to help anybody. I want to do it because I want us all to win. So that's why I feel like when God bless me, it's going to be the biggest blessing. And it's about the population I serve and seeing the women, how they take therapy serious, or if they want a crisis or something, they come for me, but I redirect them to be like, you have assigned counsel, give her a chance. Don't look over her. So it's me working on myself to be able to do that, send boundaries. To know, like, now I'm thinking more clinical. Not about who somebody like, this is this. It's about being clinical. So I don't know. For me right now, I'm just sitting in it. Renita always say, don't move, don't rush. I'm sitting in it.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm not late. Me? I'm not. Me no late. Me no late. What state are you from?
Hold on, y'all. A bot done got in. I don't know. I need my mouse to remove them. Hold on. Y'all, I don't know where I put my mouse. I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah. He just jump rope. But yep.
Road is a dangerous situation. Yeah. Hey Siri, in this song, Five Little Monkeys, there were 5 were jumping on the road, and suddenly one monkey get hit by a school bus and broke his nose. How many?
Oh my gosh, y'all. I don't have my hold on. I got it. Okay. It was crazy.
Right. I never seen that before. My what?
That was crazy. Okay, Alicia, take a breath and keep going.
Okay. But that's just where I am right now, y'all. I don't have too much more to say. You have to believe in yourself. You have to put in the time. Choose accountability partner, somebody to hold you accountable. It does not have to be a professional. It does not. Like I said before, ask your family to help you so they won't feel neglected. Like, what are you doing? And closing yourself in. Like, I just made it a family affair. Staying true to the higher being, whoever that is for you. I put a lot of me into God. I threw myself into my Bible. Even I was when I was trying to study, I still was going to the church volunteering. I actually did a grief therapy group with my church. And guess what my pastor told me? He told me to get my LLC together, and he said, I can refer you some clients. What Renita said. He was like, and they wrote me a check for $500. I was I told them what I do at work. I do grief therapy, and they wanted information. People was texting me saying, hey, can I get your slides? Can you present again? And Miss Gloria, she's the grief facilitator. She was like, Miss Ford, can you meet me at the church? I said, yes. And she handed me a $500 check for my time. And I only talked like 30 minutes. And they want to refer me clients. And my pastor said, hey, we have a big church. We have an office. I can refer you some clients. So, and Renita was talking to me about that. She did. And I'm like, I didn't see it. And that's what I'm saying, being intentional, being great at what you're called to do and not anybody else. That's why I said, hey, I'm not going to move until God tell me to move. I'm going to keep practicing. I'm going to keep getting certifications. I'm looking at trainings. I'm trying to get licensed in other states. And I want to do it on my time. When I would attend these supervision groups, I hear people say, hey, I'm licensed in this state and that state. And I would have that feeling of the imposter syndrome. Like, I'm sitting in this room. I feel less qualified than everybody else. And I'm like, no, I'm moving on my time when I'm ready. So I just say you got to start from somewhere, and don't take these supervision groups lightly, y'all. It's what you make it. So I would sit and I'll hear some people ramble, just coming, because I was one sometimes just to say something, but I charge myself to not bring negativity to the room, because I could tell sometimes how what I would bring is bring the whole supervision group down sometimes. Coming close in, arms crossed, looking mad, and all that stuff. The group didn't ask for that. The energy I brought from work or from home issues into this group, it's supposed to be a safe place. So I said, let me be, uplift everybody. It starts with myself, what you are bringing into this atmosphere. So just being intentional, y'all. Bring your pens, your paper, your pads, asking questions. Peer feedback is the best. When Renita gave me that literature, when you don't make it sometimes, and she give you articles to read it. Why? What's the importance, the purpose of supervision? You need to know that, so then you can know how to show up. That is what you learn from here to the next level, which is to be licensed. So anybody have any questions for me?
Can I make some comments before people ask questions?
Yes.
I wanted to, I wrote, okay. I have a lot. You're the first one, and I just told you guys, we have over 20 some odd clinical social workers who are licensed in our community. And rarely has anyone said that medication was on their test. And so I was curious about the safety questions, the medication questions. And I like that you said you like the 3 answer choice. I'm glad I never had to take this test again, because, all I knew was the 4 answer choices, but want to hear more about the 3 answer. I wanted to make a statement. An old boyfriend of mine, I wonder what he's doing, but he was my study partner. He would be driving, because he drove trucks or whatever, and we would ask questions. It does not have to be a professional. It's just somebody who is willing to talk this thing out with you so that you can get it out of your head and hear it out in the world. Why did you answer it that way? Especially if they're curious, right? And why would you answer it that way? And if you're talking to a layperson, and then you can really explain, oh, this is why I'm answering it this way. It helps internalize the answer for you. And so I love that your husband, tell him I said thank you, and your baby were your study partners. I want to speak to two more things before you talk about safety and medication. Celebrating. I even asked Sanjane, y'all got to stop and celebrate, because one of the things I noticed about you beautiful souls is that you'll get your BSW, you go straight into your MSW, you go straight into your LMSW, you come straight into supervision, you're just 23 years old, and then you get your clinical, you not one time ever stopped to celebrate. So I love, Alicia, that I heard you say you took your babies out to celebrate and you really allowed yourself to just pause, which leads me to the next statement about, or the last statement about staying put. For those of you who have been with me for a minute, and I know Alicia has heard me say this, Leandra, Katrina, Shendricki, y'all may have heard me say, those of you who've been with us, y'all see these girls when they get their LCSW, they're not running to the next thing. They're staying put and seeing what doors open for them. But y'all, we are the defined feminine. And we've been efforting, putting out, efforting. When you attract your opportunities to you, that's when you're in alignment. Does that make sense? And so Alicia allowing herself to the church she loves and has served for as long as I've known her to be a little one. She's been going to that church. And now they're seeing her as the absolute professional she is. And sometimes we're in these communities for a long time. They're like, oh, that's just Alicia. I knew her when she was, I won't say your nickname. I knew her when she was this person. She's just doing that for us. They see the professional in her and said, your time is worth money. And let me, for 30 minutes, give you $500. When we sit put and allow our opportunities to magnetize to us when we're in alignment, that's when the money comes, versus continue, let me go do this, let me go do this, let me go do that. I don't ever tell y'all to do that. Y'all will never hear me say, because one of the things I learned as soon as I got my clinical license 15 years ago, maybe a little longer, I'm aging myself, was people were trying to throw money at me. Y'all think it's changed? It ain't. It has not. People will throw money at you because they've been looking for you and those letters. So you don't have to go looking for the opportunities. The opportunities will come looking for you. So don't be in a hurry to rush off and be like, oh, I got this clinical license. Let the opportunities come to you, because they'll be more in alignment with who you are and what you want to do and what you're really good at. So I love that you're like, I'm going to stay put. All right. Talk to us about safety questions, medication questions, and the 3 answer choices.
Okay. So with the safety questions, it was asking about lethality checks about first. I remember one of the questions, it asks, do you refer out or do you check for safety? So it wanted you to know, what do you actually do first? One question was asking if the husband, he did something about the husband, but I know I picked I should refer out, and I can't remember why, y'all. I don't know if the answer choice was right, but I studied it somewhere before, because if we're going off of what we should do, referrals come last, right? But in certain instances, you have to refer first. And so it behoove you to study when you should refer or when you should assess, especially crisis intervention. Crisis intervention. The medication questions, I had 2 or 3, and the one I remember was about schizophrenia. So it didn't ask like a sentence, it was a paragraph, and it gave you if you saw somebody with pressured speech, if they present manic, if they had elevated blood pressure. So one of those questions, I said that the person had to seek medical assistance first because they said something medical was going on. So you want to rule out medical before you do anything. So that was in my mind, and that's how I answered that question, because they said elevated blood pressure. So for me, they say we have to rule out medical first. It asks about a lithium question too. I can't recall what it said, but I know I seen lithium on there.
And I just want to, because you said, Alicia, that your job helped you with the medication questions, and not everybody is in doing clinical work. So I just want to throw this out there. If you've never heard me say it, one of the books I feel like all clinical social workers, there's 3 things we all need as clinical social workers. One is the social work code of ethics. Print it out if you have to, but the ASWB also, you can buy it for like $6 or $7 off their website. The second one is, as it relates to Alicia talking about medication question, is get the big pill book, y'all. It's only $8 off of Amazon. And just for the test, just go over the mood disorders and the psychotic medications, just so you know both the brand names and the generic names and some of the side effects. You're going to need it anyway for your clinical practice. Even though you're like, I'm not going to do clinical work, you're going to do clinical work, even if you don't mean to do clinical work. So have the pill book as part of, and they update it every few years, okay? So even if you're not doing clinical work, getting the pill book with the medications, and again, go over the medications for mood disorders and the medications for psychoses. You don't have to know all the medications, but at least those 2 parts. And then the third book that I feel like all social workers, clinical social workers need on their desk is whatever version we are in the DSM. And I think right now we're in the DSM-5 TR. And I know we love those little pocketbook copies, but I'm saying go ahead and pay them $80. If it's 90 now or even 100 because we're in a recession, go ahead and invest in that, because even today I was writing notes for the platform Alma, and I was in the DSM making sure the severity and all of that was correct for the insurance that I was billing for. So you want to have those 3 things: the code of ethics, the big pill book, and whatever version of the DSM we're in right now, okay? All right, now I'm done with my questions. Y'all ask Alicia questions.
Please, y'all, feel free. And I do want to say, I feel like I had a hard exam. Certain people say it's easy exams. I felt like I had a hard exam. I really do, because I felt defeated, like I wasn't going to pass because it was so many medication and diagnosis questions. But honestly, I felt good about it because I work in a clinical setting. Did anybody have any questions?
Alicia, thank you so much for the information. So I just want to clarify. So you say you studied for your exam for about a month? Okay.
I did like a month because I didn't want to overstudy. Because Leandra, you know how I am, like, and I didn't want to forget information or packing all this stuff in my mind. I'm like, I lose it. So it was after Valentine's Day. I know that because I'm like, I'll start January, my birthday. It went from, I finished in October, November, Thanksgiving, December, Christmas, my birthday, January 9th, February, Valentine's Day. It's like, when can I start? So I started after Valentine's Day, the day after Valentine's Day.
Okay. And did you study on the weekends, or was it just every day?
Only an hour. I studied every day, Saturday, Sunday, only an hour. Before I got out to go get my hair done or something, Saturday, I'm up at 8, at least an hour. I dedicate an hour a day. And Ray too would tell you, a question a day. He would tell you a question, 1 practice question a day. But I would do 10. I would study materials and do at least 10 practice questions.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I'm going to be reaching out to you if I need to.
Please. Anybody?
Well, I don't have a question. I Oh, go ahead, Chandrika.
No, you good, Tiffany. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I don't have a question, Alicia. I just wanted to tell you I am so proud of you, and you're so deserving of passing on your first time. So that's it. I just wanted to give you your flowers and let you know again how proud I am of you.
Thank you, Miss Sala. Yeah, Miss Sala is my boss. One of my boss, not the ones I was talking about. But she the other boss.
All right. Congratulations, beautiful.
Thank you, Chandrika.
You're welcome. How did you decide which, I guess, subjects to study?
I didn't. That's what I'm saying. That's why I had so many practice materials. You get what I'm saying? I when I get up, I'm like, hey, Ray to diagnosis. I would take diagnosis one day. I would take medications. I would take Maslow hierarchy of needs. I would take theories. Like every day I would have a different topic. I wouldn't stay on looking at medications all week. I didn't do that. Every day I would do something different, but I would rotate it out because our brains, right? If you don't keep looking at it, you'll lose it. So I will rotate it out. I'll look at this week. Next week, I'll look at it again in different order just to retain the information.
Sorry, I'm taking notes. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. And that really works. After we say we looked at it one time, we good. No, you're not. You're going to forget it. Even after you take that test, I still look at my information, y'all. So when people say, hey, can I get that book or get the information? No, because I need to go back and look over it. Because after a week or so I passed, oh, yeah, I'm happy. I probably forgot everything I looked at. I'm just being honest. And so I need this to go back, to look over in a review. So
I appreciate your transparency too.
Oh, yep. I can only be me. I can only be me. Seriously, y'all. And finding something you like after the test, seriously. Like Renita say, celebrate. I'm having a party Saturday, a novelty party. I'm not just going, yes, I'm having a novelty party. I told my supervisor, I'm like, hey, I hope we have some on this calendar because I'm having a party. But what I want to do is talk about women health and learn our bodies and all that stuff. So it's encouraging me to speak because I have 30 people. I got a building and everything. So it's celebrating me, but it's celebrating women. And my cousin said, hey, I like this. I want to invest in you to keep doing it. Let's take it and move it, go to different cities with it. So I'm like, I'm with it, So it's just, I don't know. I'm all about women empowerment, having fun, and intertwining both of them. Being my authentic self and, trying to like grow. I want to be my own business. I do.
Well, you are definitely a brand. So think about your name.
Thank you. Anybody else, ladies?
I got another question. With the 4 questions versus the 3 questions, did the sentence structure change or just the question options?
I don't know what happened. Everybody look froze. But that's all I have, Renita. Can I ask a favor too? When people present, I don't see it, and I want to be able to attend the
Darling,
events and everything. Miss Sally said you guys went somewhere.
let me tell you one of the things. I love how you came in here with your little bossy self and told people to make sure they brought their pen and paper to supervision. But one of the things, Alicia, you never would read my newsletter.
I don't.
That is where I actually am working on the newsletter for June, and it takes me a couple hours, y'all, to pull all that information. I'm not just like BSing over here. I'm like I work hard on that thing, but in the newsletter, my beautiful babes, that's where I tell people where we're having our CEU event.
Oh.
So if you just scan it and be like, what's happening this month? Because next month, Chandrika is presenting on the 20 what, Chandrika? I'm actually working on that one right now.
The 24th.
The 24th. And I'm excited about that one. You want to tell us your title, Chandrika?
The ethical treatment of sex offenders.
Y'all should see her learning objectives. I'm so excited about that one. And then Katrina and I were just talking 30 minutes ago, and we haven't nailed down her date, but it's going to be the latest we could possibly do in June. So Katrina's presenting next month as well. But even if you don't, you can just scan the freaking newsletter, Alicia.
I'm gonna look, Renita. So do it come out the end of the month, like right now?
I'm working on it now. Prayerfully, it will be out in the morning by the 1st.
Okay.
But everybody, no matter whether you're still in supervision or not, you still get the newsletter. It's a great newsletter, if I must say. I have 2 newsletters I do every month. I have an astrology newsletter and I have the supervision newsletter. I work hard on them things. All right. But then also, Alicia, well, not just Alicia, but everybody. As y'all know, and Chandrika, we're going to come back to your question in just a second, but I'm going to use this time for just a second. As y'all know, I just introduced you guys to Naisha, who is one of our ASWB researchers. So I'm trying to bring in macro social work practice into the community. And then my sister, Dr. Kendra Ray, I love saying it because she's a Black Girl Magic, Dr. Kendra Ray, is she's been working on an app. And if you've been in our community for a while, you know she's been working on this music app for people living with dementia. And she needs a focus group. And we are the perfect focus group for her. And so on the 17th at 6 o'clock, I'm asking everybody who's ever loved me to please come to the group on the 17th because she's going to be doing a data, what is it called? A mock presentation on the app, and it will help with the research for our demographics. A bunch of social workers get involved. We might even get to be involved even further, but we got to show up for these things. So she's going to be doing a demonstration on the app. She's not doing it, actually. Her NYU students who actually just graduated from NYU this past week are going to be doing the demonstration. I think that's pretty cool. So on the 17th, the 24th, and Katrina and I are nailing down a date for her presentation. So you have 3 opportunities to come. And then the third thing, Alicia, before we get to Chandrika's question, you didn't know Chandrika asked a question because she kind of went out. But the third thing, Alicia, is now that you are clinically licensed, I have started an alumni group for those who are clinically licensed because we have so many of them. I mean, my God. And so even though I want to start a huge alumni group, I want to go ahead and start an alumni group for those who are clinically licensed because it's hard, even though we are like 25 in, 26 in, I can't remember. That feels like a lot. We're still like isolated out there in this big old social work world. So I wanted to bring you, those of you who are clinically licensed, so that y'all can support each other. So you'll start getting those emails now as well. So you'll be part of the clinically licensed alumni group that we have, okay? So Chandrika did ask the question I had asked, and then we'll wrap it up here about she said, hers was a little different. She said, was the sentence structure for the 3 answer choices any different from the 4 answer choices? Or what was it that you preferred about the 3 answer choices over the 4 answer choice?
It wasn't a difference. I preferred it because I felt like I didn't have too many options to choose from. For me, the limited questions is like, hey, it has to be one of these 3. When it's 4, it's like I have too many to choose from. That's where my brain went with it. So the minimum of questions for me, I looked at it different, if that makes sense. Because too many, like, say if you have 10 options, you have 10 to choose from. It could be any 10. But for me, the less questions, it helped me. It was no different with the sentence structure or anything like that. It still read the same. Yes.
If y'all didn't read that chat, Kenny asked, was the process of elimination with the 3 answer choices was easier versus the 4 answer choices? Yes. Quinn didn't ask any questions, which is so unusual for her, but she did remind me that if you are interested in what's going on with the Goddesses of Social Work, she always puts, so grateful for you, Quinn. She also always puts the stuff going, like even today, she put that Alicia was coming to speak to the group in our Goddesses Social Work Facebook group. So if you're not on that, you can find out. And when I'm feeling good, I sometimes put it in the group me, like I did this morning.
And that's how I usually see it, because it pop up on your phone.
Yeah. So we try to get it on Facebook. Quinn does a really good job. Quinn, you looking beautiful, darling, with your hair, your girl. I see the soft girl era. I see it. I'm like, oh, look at Quinn.
Well, thank you.
But Facebook, the newsletter, please y'all read that. I'm just begging y'all to read it. And because we're going to be celebrating Sajane this month in the newsletter. And then Facebook, the newsletter, and then when we're feeling saucy, jumpy, we'll put it in our group me as well. So those are the 3 ways you can find out what we're doing. And next month it's going to be busy. So you have 3, if not 4 opportunities, come back and be a part of community. And we are just so grateful that you decided to join us today and get in all of our asses about come to supervision prepared, study an hour a day, buy the ASWB practice exam. I tell everybody to do that. You don't have to listen to all the stuff that they're telling you to go to a different space and all that. You can go right in your city, especially if you know where it's at. And also, Alicia, one of the things that I appreciate that you said was you didn't pass the test, the first one, on the first try. And yet you were able to do it with the clinical exam. So even if that's your history, know that doesn't mean it's your future or your present, right? And she even said that it was a more difficult exam for her. And because she's learned from those experiences and showed up prepared, and yes, I did and would, even though we are family, I get in everybody's asses. But that's because I love you. And so take it as love, right? And so because she came prepared, she was so much more prepared for this exam. I don't know if you can see this, but this presentation, Alicia, was so motivating and was a big wake up for me to start. Katrina, you say that every supervision. Katrina's been saying that because she's graduated.
I want to go buy the material and everything.
Good. I hope you wrote it down. And I will. The recording will be. I'll let y'all know the recording is up if you want to re-listen. And Chandrika said, "Thank you, Alicia. I have a little less anxiety." Yes. As she graduates next month as well. Any final words of wisdom, Alicia, you want to leave us with?
No, and I can write my email, and I know Chandrika, you have my number. Like, you guys, I'm very accessible, and I want you guys to network with. So text me. Let me put it in here. Email me. I don't mind either or. I just work in the prison, so I can't answer my phone during the day. But if you shoot me a text, I'm here. I dropped it down there, y'all, so you can have it.
Y'all take a second and grab that. Alisihia P. Ford, LICSW. We are so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
October was 8 months ago. 8 months ago since you left supervision, and you are clinically licensed staying put, learning how to be a leader, already seeing the fruit of that. And I cannot wait to see how the world just opens up for you because you kept betting on yourself.
Yes, thank you.
So proud of you, darling. All right, you guys, we finished the month of May supervision. Yay! And I will see you. Oh, we're not probably having next week's my birthday, so no supervision the first week in June, and then we'll kick it back off with the presentations and facilitations and all this other macro work that we're doing mid-June. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Yeah, we can. Well, no, Shendrick. Well, let me stop recording.